The red stew was still boiling when Amanda lifted the pot. Steam rose like a small cloud, filling the bright, expensive kitchen with the smell of tomatoes, pepper, and fried oil. The glass windows of the mansion shone, the marble floors were spotless, and everything in the room looked rich and perfect. Everything, except Zara. Zara stood near the kitchen counter, her faded gown already wet from washing plates. Her hands were trembling, her eyes were full of tears. Her lips shook as she tried to explain herself. "Ma, please." "I am so sorry," she whispered, voice breaking. "I did not mean to break the plate. It slipped. Please forgive me." The broken pieces of a fine foreign plate lay on the floor near her bare feet. It was just one plate. But in this house, one plate cost more than everything Zara owned. Amanda, the billionaire, stood in front of her in a rich blue silk dress that hugged her body. Her hair was perfectly done, makeup neat, gold bracelet shining on her wrist. She looked like a queen standing in her palace. Her face twisted in anger. "You did not mean to," Amanda shouted, her voice echoing off the kitchen walls. "Do you know how much that plate costs? Do you know who I am?" Zara raised her hands, palms open, as if she could catch the anger in the air and stop it. "Please, Ma, it was a mistake. I will pay. I will try to pay from my salary. Please don't send me away. I don't have anywhere to go." Amanda laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was sharp and cruel. It cut into Zara's heart more than any slap. "Pay?" Amanda laughed again. "You, pay? With which money? With that your 10,000 naira salary? You will pay in the next life. Maybe." Zara's tears dropped faster. She fell on her knees on the cold floor, still holding her hands up as if begging heaven. "Ma, please, I beg you." Amanda's eyes moved from Zara's wet face to the pot of stew on the gas cooker. Slowly, like someone who just got a wicked idea, a smile crept onto her lips. Zara followed her eyes and felt her stomach twist. "Stand up," Amanda said. Zara obeyed at once. Her legs were weak, but she stood. Her heart beat so loud she could hear it in her ears. "Come here," Amanda ordered. Zara took a small step closer. Amanda wrapped both hands around the pot's handles. The stew inside was thick and hot. Oil floated on top, still bubbling. One wrong move and it could burn skin. Zara's eyes widened in fear. "Ma, please, it is hot," she whispered. Amanda lifted the pot from the fire. Everything went quiet. Even the small sound of the boiling stew seemed to stop. The kitchen clock ticked slowly on the wall. Outside, cars passed on the street, but the sound felt far away. Amanda raised the pot higher. Zara lifted her hands again, as if the air between them could protect her. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Ma, please, don't do this." Amanda's lips curved into a cold, proud smile. In that frozen second, Zara did not know that this moment would follow her for years. She did not know that one day, this same rich woman, this same Amanda, would be the one on her knees, begging her for forgiveness. She only knew fear. And then we go back to how it all started. Before the pot of stew, before the shouting, before the humiliation, Zara's life was already hard. She was 24, but the world had made her grow up too fast. Her parents died when she was 16. Her father had been a mechanic in Kaduna. Her mother sold food by the roadside. One night, a tanker accident on the highway took both of them away. After that, Zara went from one relative's house to another, always feeling like a burden, always hearing the same words, "We are trying. Things are hard. You are not a child again, Zara. Go and find work." By the time she turned 22, she had moved to Lagos with only one Ghana must-go bag and a small nylon of clothes. Lagos was loud, busy, and unforgiving, but it was also full of dreams. She slept in a small one-room apartment with 4 other girls in a crowded area not far from Aja. They were all struggling maids and cleaners, waking up before dawn, returning home late, and sharing stories of their madams and ogres. "Some madams are kind," one girl, Kemi, said one night. "My own sometimes gives me her old clothes." The others laughed. "At least you can wear Madam Collection," another joked. Zara smiled, but her eyes were tired. She had just finished a day of washing, scrubbing floors, and cooking. Her back ached. Her hands had small cracks from detergent. But she was thankful she even had a job. Her job was at the brownstone mansion, the big white house at the end of a quiet, rich street. Everyone in the area knew the house. The gate was tall and black, the compound big, with flowers lining the driveway and fancy cars parked under shade. It belonged to Amanda. Amanda was not just rich, she was very rich. At 40, she was a known businesswoman all over Lagos. She owned a chain of luxury boutiques, a popular restaurant on the island, and shares in several companies. People saw her on TV, in magazines, at events. They called her Madam Amanda, Iron Lady, the billionaire queen. To the world, she was powerful, beautiful, and successful. To her staff, she was something else. "The woman is wicked," the driver whispered one morning as Zara swept the front steps. "You have to be sharp around her. One small mistake, and you are out." The cook shook his head. "You think that is the problem? She likes to disgrace people." Zara kept sweeping, pretending not to hear, but every word stayed in her mind. The first day she saw Amanda up close, Zara could not stop staring. Amanda walked into the sitting room like she owned the world. Her heels clicked on the marble floor, her perfume filled the air. Her straight, shiny wig swung gently as she moved. She did not look like someone who ever suffered in her life. "Who is the new girl?" Amanda asked, her eyes sweeping over Zara like she was an old chair. "Madam, this is Zara, the new maid," the head maid, Mama Grace, replied quickly. Zara bowed her head and greeted. "Good morning, Ma." Amanda's eyes went from Zara's worn sandals to her simple gown, and then to her face. "How old are you?" Amanda asked. 24, Ma," Zara answered softly. "Where do you come from?" "Kaduna, Ma, but I now live here in Lagos." Amanda nodded slowly. "Can you work? I don't like lazy people. I don't like careless people. In this house, everything must be perfect. If you break one thing, I will remove it from your salary. If you spoil something big, I will send you away. Do you understand?" Zara swallowed. "Yes, Ma, I understand." Amanda stared at her for one more second, then waved her hand like Zara was nothing special. "Good. Get to work." From that day, Zara worked like her life depended on it. She woke up before everyone else to sweep the compound. She washed dishes until her fingers shriveled in the water. She ironed clothes carefully, afraid of burning anything. She learned how to set the dining table exactly the way Amanda liked it. She wiped every corner of the house, even the ones nobody saw. Sometimes, when Amanda had visitors, Zara would stand in a corner with a tray, watching the rich women laugh and talk about trips to Dubai, new cars and business deals. Amanda would throw her head back and laugh loudly. "I cannot stand people who are lazy," Zara once heard her say. "If you are poor, at least work hard. Don't be poor and foolish." The words stung, even though they were not said to her directly. Zara was poor, but she was trying. She was working. She told herself that if she just kept quiet, worked well, and obeyed, maybe Amanda would one day trust her. Maybe one day Amanda would even help her go back to school. But Amanda never noticed her hard work. She only noticed mistakes. If a spoon was not straight on the tray, she shouted. If water dropped on the floor, she shouted. If Zara walked too fast or too slow, she shouted. Every insult cut deeper than the last. "Look at me when I am talking to you," Amanda snapped one afternoon. "You are in my house. You eat my food. You wear your cheap clothes and walk on my expensive floor. If I send you out today, where will you go?" Zara's throat tightened. I will do better, Ma," she whispered. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Zara thought she had seen the worst. Then came the day of the stew. It was Sunday afternoon. Amanda had just returned from church in a bright mood. She wore a blue dress that made her look like a TV star. Zara had helped the cook prepare special jollof rice and chicken for Amanda's family. The guests were already seated in the dining room. Laughter floated from the other side of the door. The house smelled of fried chicken and spicy stew. "Zara," the cook called, "help me carry this pot of stew to the kitchen counter. Madam wants it there first." Zara nodded and carefully carried the hot pot from the back burner to the front counter. Her arms shook a little from the weight, but she managed to place it down safely. Then, as she reached for a plate on the shelf above, her elbow brushed another plate near the edge. The plate wobbled. Time slowed. No, 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 Zara whispered, stretching her hand, but it was too late. The plate fell. The sound of breaking glass felt like thunder in the quiet kitchen. Amanda walked in at that exact moment. Her eyes went straight to the broken plate on the floor, then to Zara's frightened face. "What did you do?" she asked, her voice very calm. Too calm. I am sorry, Ma," Zara stammered. "It was a mistake." Amanda's calm slipped away. The anger came like a storm. She shouted. She insulted. She reminded Zara how worthless she was, how expensive the plate was, how people like her did not deserve chances. And then she saw the pot of stew. Her fingers closed around the handles. Now, we are back in the kitchen, in the present moment. Amanda lifts the pot. Zara stands with her hands raised, tears falling. "Since you like to spoil things," Amanda says slowly, her voice icy, "let me help you remember this day." Before Zara can move, Amanda tilts the pot. The hot red stew comes rushing down. Zara screams. The kitchen door swings open. Someone stands there, eyes wide, staring at the scene. The scream that left Zara's mouth did not sound human. It tore through the kitchen. It bounced off the marble tiles. It made even the birds outside the window stop for a moment. The hot stew hit her head first. Then it ran down her face. Then her neck. Then her shoulders. She dropped to her knees, shaking, crying, gasping for air as the burning oil crawled over her skin like fire ants. Her hands trembled as she tried to wipe it away, but the stew was too hot. It burned her palms too. "Please. Ah, please," Zara cried, her voice cracking. Amanda stood over her, breathing heavily, chest rising and falling like she had just finished a workout. Like pouring stew on another human being had released some twisted satisfaction. "You will learn not to break what you cannot replace," Amanda said coldly. Her voice had no pity, no shock, no mercy. The billionaire actually smiled. A small, cruel smile, a smile you never forget. At that moment, the kitchen door burst open. Mama Grace, the head maid, froze at the sight. "Oh my God, Madam," she shouted, rushing to Zara's side. "This girl is burning. What have you done?" Amanda turned slowly. "Be careful how you speak to me," she snapped. "She deserved it." Zara's screams grew weaker. Her vision was blurry. Her head felt light. Her skin felt like boiling water was chewing it. Mama Grace held her face gently, tears falling from her eyes. "Zara, look at me, child. Stay with me." But Zara couldn't. Everything was spinning. Everything was fading. Amanda rolled her eyes. "Carry her out of my kitchen," she said. "I don't want her tears to spoil the floor." The words cut like a knife. By the time Mama Grace and the driver carried Zara out of the mansion, half of the staff were watching silently. Nobody dared say anything. Nobody dared look Amanda in the eye. In that moment, the seed of something dark and dangerous planted itself in Zara's heart. Not anger, not revenge. Wounds. Wounds that would one day turn into strength. Zara woke up in a small clinic with a white bandage wrapped around her forehead and part of her shoulder. The air smelled of antiseptic and cheap medicine. The fan on the ceiling turned slowly, making a soft humming sound. Her body felt heavy. Her heart felt heavier. The nurse, a kind woman with soft eyes, touched her hand. "You're safe," she whispered. "The burns are not too deep. You will heal, but you must rest." Zara's lips trembled. Her voice was a whisper. "I was sent away, right?" The nurse lowered her eyes. "The woman who brought you said you can't return." Zara shut her eyes. She already knew. Amanda didn't want her healed. Amanda didn't want her to return. Amanda wanted her gone, removed, erased, just like the broken plate. Zara's chest tightened as tears rolled down both sides of her face. "Why?" she whispered. "What did I do to deserve this?" The nurse squeezed her hand gently. "Life is not fair, my dear, but God sees everything." By evening, Zara was sitting on a wooden bench outside the clinic with a nylon bag beside her, the same nylon that held everything she owned: her clothes, her toothbrush, her old slippers, her worn Bible. No money, no job, no place to go. Mama Grace rushed to her, breathing hard. "Zara, Take this, she said, pressing N5000 into her palm. It's small, but it's something. I am sorry, my child. I am so sorry. Zara shook her head, tears pouring again. It's not your fault, Mama. Thank you. Mama Grace hugged her tightly, then left quickly before anyone saw her. And for the first time in Zara's life, she felt truly alone. She walked slowly down the street. Every step hurt, her burns stung, her head pounded, her spirit felt broken. But nobody stopped to ask, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" People in Lagos were too busy. Everyone had their own pain. Zara found a small corner near a locked shop and sat down, hugging her nylon bag tightly. The night breeze felt cold on her bandaged skin. She cried silently, not because of the burns, not because of the humiliation, not because she lost her job. She cried because she realized something painful. In that big, rich mansion, she was never seen as human. Amanda didn't see her tears. She didn't see her fear. She didn't see her struggle. She saw only a maid. Disposable, replaceable, nothing. Zara wiped her eyes with shaky fingers, then she whispered a promise into the darkness. God, please, just show me another way. I don't want to suffer like this forever. She didn't know it yet, but life had already heard her, and the answer was coming, slowly, quietly, and with a twist she would never expect. 3 days later, while trying to find work, Zara passed by a white canopy with women seated around a table. They were writing in forms and examining different small crafts. She paused. One of the women, smiling, gentle, warm, looked at her bandaged hand and waved her over. "You can join us," she said. "This is a free program for ladies who want to learn skills and build their own businesses." Zara's heart jumped. "For people like me?" "Yes," the woman said with a soft smile. "For exactly people like you." Zara stepped inside the canopy. She didn't know it, but that step was the beginning of her rise, the beginning of her healing, the beginning of her transformation, the beginning of the day Amanda would kneel before her, but before that day would come, before life would turn, before the wheel would spin back, Zara had to fight through even more pain, more twists, and more emotional storms. Zara did not expect her life to change so quickly. When she walked into the training tent that morning, she simply wanted something, anything to hold on to. She wanted a skill that would keep her alive. She wanted a reason to wake up without fear. She did not know destiny was waiting for her. The training center was noisy at first, women chatting, babies crying, plastic chairs scraping the cement floor. Large basins of fabrics sat in one corner. A long table filled with thread, scissors, needles, glue guns, beads, and sewing kits stretched across the room. "Pick any craft you want to try today," the instructor said warmly. "We will guide you." Some women went to the bead-making station, some went to hairdressing, some went to baking. Zara stood frozen. For a moment she felt like she didn't belong. She felt like everyone was watching her bandaged hand, like they could smell the humiliation still clinging to her skin. "Are you okay?" the instructor asked. Zara nodded even though she wasn't sure. Her eyes fell on a pile of old Ankara fabric. She walked toward it slowly. She remembered something, her mother sitting by the window in Kaduna, sewing uniforms for children. Her mother's fingers were fast, soft, and gentle. Zara used to sit beside her, practicing small stitches on leftover cloth. She picked 2 scraps of Ankara. Her fingers trembled at first, but muscle memory took over. She began cutting the cloth. She stitched quietly, sitting on a low stool in the corner. The world around her disappeared. She didn't hear the noise anymore. She didn't feel the pain in her arm. She didn't remember the stew. She didn't remember Amanda's laugh. All she saw was the fabric in her hands. And then, after 1 hour, something beautiful was sitting on her lap. A small, pocket-sized Ankara purse, neatly shaped, colorful, bold, and perfectly sewn. The instructor gasped. "Oh my goodness, who made this?" Zara looked up shyly. I did." The woman took the purse and inspected it closely. "This is not beginner work," she said softly. "My dear, you are gifted." Gifted. It was the first time in years anyone used that word on her. The tears came again, but they were different, lighter, warmer. Zara wiped them quickly. Thank you, Ma. Other women gathered around, admiring the purse. Can you teach us? Where did you learn this? I want one like this for my daughter. Zara felt a small spark she hadn't felt since childhood. From that day, Zara came early and left late. While others practiced for 2 hours, Zara practiced for 5. While others went home to rest, Zara stayed behind, sewing by the light of her small rechargeable torch. Her fingers grew faster, her stitching grew neater. Her designs grew more beautiful. Her teacher noticed. You are not just talented, she told her, you are hungry for growth. That hunger will take you far. Zara began making bags, small ones, big ones, side purses, Ankara wallets and stylish bonnets. The women in the community started buying. Zara, make one for my sister. Zara, do you have that purple design? Zara, can you make something for Sunday service? She felt useful. She felt important. She felt seen. Every naira she earned, she saved. Even when she bought Gary and groundnut for dinner, she bought it carefully, counting her coins one by one. She didn't want to go back to being a maid. She didn't want to go back to sleeping in fear. She didn't want to go back to bowing to someone who didn't see her as human. She was building something of her own, a future. Months passed. Zara became one of the best trainees in the program. She started selling her pieces in local markets and churches. One day she created a bold handbag made with a mix of Ankara and denim. It was unique, something nobody had seen before. A customer took a photo of the bag and posted it on Instagram with the caption, "Handmade in Aja Market by a girl called Zara. This is talent." The post blew up. People shared it. People commented. People wanted to buy. Zara created a small Instagram page and named it Zara's Touch. Orders started coming in. A woman in Ikeja wanted 2 bags. A makeup artist in Surulere wanted bonnets for her studio. A fashion blogger messaged her for a collaboration. Zara's heart almost burst with joy. She didn't have a sewing machine of her own yet, so she rented one at night for N300. She worked until her fingers hurt, sometimes until dawn. Her growth was steady, her confidence grew, her healing grew. She was no longer the girl who cried under Amanda's words. She was becoming someone new, strong, skilled, valuable. 2 years later, Zara finally rented a small kiosk at Aja Market. She painted it white and blue. She hung her bags on hooks. She arranged purses on shelves. She even bought a small fan to keep her tiny shop cool. Her shop wasn't big, but it was hers. Every day she thanked God for how far she had come. Until one hot Friday afternoon, the door of her shop opened, and the entire market went silent. A woman stepped inside, a woman wearing a faded wig, a woman whose makeup had melted, a woman whose gown looked wrinkled, a woman whose eyes were swollen from crying. Zara turned slowly, her breath caught in her chest, her hands went cold, her heart stopped. It was Amanda. Yes. The same Amanda who poured stew on her head, the same Amanda who threw her out like trash, the same Amanda who once stood tall and proud, now stood shaking, weak, almost unrecognizable. She looked around the shop slowly, then her trembling eyes met Zara's. "Zara," she whispered, voice breaking, "please, I need your help." Zara froze. Customers stared. The marketplace buzzed with shock. Amanda, the Amanda, was now begging. Her lips trembled, her hands shook. I am begging you," she said again, tears falling. The arrogant billionaire who once humiliated her was now standing in her shop, begging. Why? What happened? How did this happen? Zara stepped back, heart pounding. Her world was about to flip again. For a long moment, Zara could not move. She couldn't speak. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't even blink. Amanda, standing there, in her shop, looking weak, looking scared, looking like life had finally beaten her the same way she once beat Zara's spirit. It didn't feel real. This was the same woman who wore designer gowns with diamonds, the same woman who walked like she owned the whole world, the same woman who poured hot stew on a maid and laughed. Now she stood trembling, her hands shaking, her lips cracked, her wig looking like it had survived a hurricane. Zara swallowed hard. Her voice was small, shaky, uncertain. Amanda, why are you here? Amanda looked around as if she feared someone was watching her. Her voice broke. My life is gone, she whispered. Gone. Zara's heart thumped. What? What do you mean? Amanda stepped forward slowly, her knees almost giving way. Please, let me sit. Zara hesitated. Every memory of pain came flooding back. The burns, the shouting, the humiliation, the cold laugh. But before she could decide whether to help her or not, Amanda's legs buckled, and she collapsed into the small plastic chair near the entrance. Customers gasped. 2 women outside whispered loudly, "Is that not Madam Amanda?" "Ha! What happened to her like this?" Amanda covered her face with both hands and sobbed. Loud, painful, ugly sobs, the kind that didn't care who was watching. Zara's heart softened a little. Just a little. She quietly pulled the curtain of her shop door halfway to give them privacy. "Amanda, talk to me. What happened?" Amanda lifted her face. Tears had made black lines down her cheeks from her ruined mascara. "It started 6 months ago." Amanda's voice shook as she spoke. "My husband left me." Zara blinked. "You were married?" "Yes," Amanda whispered. "A powerful man. We kept it quiet, but we built a lot together." Her fingers twisted her gown nervously. "He found out I was cheating." Zara's eyes widened. "Oh, and that wasn't all. His company, the company I thought I owned shares in, threw me out once he exposed my secret." Amanda wiped her nose. "They took everything. My businesses, my cars, the house, everything." Zara felt her chest tighten. Amanda, who once had a mansion with marble floors, was now homeless. But Amanda wasn't finished. "My friends disappeared. The people who ate my food, the people who wore my designer clothes, the ones who begged me for favors, they left me." Her voice cracked. "Zara, I have not eaten a full meal in 2 days." Zara closed her eyes. For a moment, she remembered her own hunger. Sleeping on streets, crying in the dark, feeling invisible. But still she stayed silent. Amanda continued, "My health is getting worse. I have nowhere to go. I have no money to buy medicine. I have no family, no friend, nobody." Her eyes lifted slowly, full of shame. "You are the only person who came to my mind." Zara almost laughed from shock. The only person. The woman who poured stew on her now came to her for help. Why? Why her? Amanda swallowed, tears streaming again. "I remembered your face that day," she whispered. "Not the crying, not the begging, not the plate you broke." She paused. "I remember your eyes, Zara. You were hurt. But even then, even when you were in pain, you were kind. You looked at me with fear, not hatred." She sniffed, voice shaking. "You were the only person I ever mistreated who still had goodness in her heart." Zara's throat tightened. Amanda bowed her head low, so low her forehead almost touched Zara's shoes. "Please, I am begging you," she whispered. "Forgive me, help me, even if it's just food, or work, or anything." The billionaire who once laughed at her, the billionaire who called her useless, the billionaire who removed her like trash, was now crying, shaking, begging, on her knees. Customers outside kept peeping through the curtain. A vendor was already forming rumors. "Is it not that wicked Amanda? Ha! She is begging her former maid." Lagos had started talking, but Zara wasn't thinking about the crowd. She was looking at Amanda's hands, once covered with diamonds, now shaking like a leaf. Her heart battled itself. One side said, "This is your chance to repay her with the same humiliation." The other side said, "She is human. She is broken. Help her." Zara took a deep breath. Her voice was soft but steady. "Amanda, look at me." Amanda looked up slowly, face wet with tears. Zara whispered, "I will help you, but not because you deserve it. I will help you because I refuse to become what you made me feel like." Amanda's sobs grew louder. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you, Zara." Zara stepped aside. "Come inside properly. Sit, let me get you water." Amanda nodded, wiping her face, but just as Zara reached for a bottle of water on her shelf, her phone rang. She glanced at the screen. Unknown number. She almost ignored it, but something, maybe instinct, made her answer. Hello. A deep voice replied, Good afternoon. Am I speaking with Zara, the owner of Zara's Touch? Zara straightened. Yes, this is she. This is Mr. Daramola, the voice continued. I am calling from Lekki Mall. I saw your designs online. We want to discuss partnering with you. Are you available for a meeting tomorrow morning? Zara's breath caught. Her eyes widened. She wasn't sure if she heard correctly. Partnership? Lekki Mall. Her designs. She looked at Amanda, still shaking in the corner. She looked back at the phone. Yes, she whispered. I am available. Good, the man said. We will send you the address and time. The call ended. Zara stood frozen, heart pounding. Amanda watched her with confusion. What happened? She asked weakly. Zara swallowed. Her voice trembled. I just got a business meeting with one of the biggest stores in Lagos. Amanda's eyes widened. You did? Zara nodded slowly, and for the first time ever, Amanda was speechless. The girl she once humiliated was now rising, higher than she had ever imagined. Zara didn't sleep that night. She sat on her small bed in her tiny room, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling while everything played in her mind like a movie. Amanda's tears. Amanda on her knees. Amanda begging. And then the phone call, the offer, Lekki Mall. The same Amanda who once told her, "You are nothing," was now depending on her, and the world that once ignored her was now opening its doors. But this wasn't the end. It was just the start of the biggest twist of her life. By sunrise, Zara dressed carefully. She wore a simple white blouse tucked into a neat black skirt. She packed her hair gently, wore light makeup, and carried 2 of her best handbags, one Ankara denim mix, one bold red patchwork design. Before leaving the room, she whispered, God, please let this go well. She returned to her shop first. Amanda was already waiting outside, sitting quietly, hands folded tightly on her lap. She looked even weaker than yesterday. Good morning, Zara said softly. Amanda looked up with tired eyes. Good morning, Zara. I didn't sleep. Zara felt something twist in her heart. How are you feeling? Amanda tried to smile, but it faded fast. I'm trying, she whispered. Thank you for letting me stay at your shop yesterday. I know you didn't have to. Zara nodded. I will find you food and a place to rest inside until I return. I'm going for a business meeting. Amanda lowered her head. I heard you on the phone yesterday. I'm happy for you. Truly. Zara placed a bottle of water beside her. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. As Zara walked away, Amanda whispered something Zara didn't hear. God, please don't let her hate me. Lekki Mall was bright, tall, and busy. People moved in and out like waves. Zara's stomach twisted with nerves. She entered the air-conditioned office upstairs, where 2 managers sat. Welcome, Miss Zara, Mr. Daramola said with a warm smile. We've reviewed your work. A woman in a fitted navy dress held up Zara's Ankara purse. This is unique, she said. Clean stitching, bold colors, modern finish. We believe your designs will sell very well. Zara's heart galloped. Thank you, Ma. Mr. Daramola leaned forward. We want to distribute your bags across 3 of our stores, Lekki, Surulere, and Ikeja. Zara blinked. Stores? Multiple? Her designs? The room started spinning. We will buy in bulk, he continued, 50 pieces of each design to start. Zara gasped. 50, the woman smiled. You are talented, Zara. With the right push, you will become one of Lagos's top young designers. Zara's hands shook. So, what do you say? She swallowed. I say yes. They shook hands. Her future took a giant leap. Her past was suddenly far behind. Zara almost ran back to her shop in excitement. But when she reached the entrance, her steps froze. Amanda was not sitting where Zara left her. Instead, a small crowd gathered near a corner of the market. A woman pointed and said, Sister, come, that woman fell down, oh. Zara's heart dropped. She pushed through the crowd. There, lying weak on the ground, was Amanda. Her breathing was shallow, her skin pale, her eyes barely open. "Amanda!" Zara shouted, kneeling beside her. A man nearby said she fainted while standing. Maybe hunger, maybe stress, maybe blood pressure. Zara shook her gently. "Amanda, wake up. Please wake up." Amanda's lips trembled. "Zara, I'm sorry." Zara's eyes filled with tears. "You'll be okay. Don't talk. Please don't talk." People helped carry Amanda to Zara's shop. Zara dialed for a keke. "We are going to the clinic," she said, holding Amanda's hand tightly. Amanda squeezed it weakly. "Why are you helping me after everything I did to you?" Zara swallowed tears. "Because I am not like you," she whispered, "and I refuse to let your cruelty turn me into a monster." Amanda sobbed. "Thank you, Zara. You are better than me." The kiki moved fast. Zara kept holding her hand. The doctor examined Amanda, checked her blood pressure, asked questions, and then sighed. "She hasn't eaten properly in days. She is severely dehydrated. Stress is worsening her condition. She needs rest, food, and treatment." Zara nodded firmly. "I will pay." Amanda's eyes widened weakly. "No, Zara, don't spend your money on me." Zara shook her head. "It's not about money, it's about grace." Amanda burst into tears again. The doctor placed her on a bed with a drip. When he left the room, Amanda turned to Zara weakly. "Why are you doing this for me?" Zara looked at her gently. "Because my life is bigger than the pain you caused." A week passed. Zara visited every day, bringing food, fruit, and medicine. She made sure Amanda ate. She bought her new clothes. She even arranged temporary shelter for her after discharge. The news of Zara helping her former wicked madam spread across the market. Some people said, "Zara is too soft." Others said, "God will bless her." But the truth was simple. Zara was not helping Amanda because she forgot the pain. She helped Amanda because she refused to let bitterness control her. And then, one morning, Amanda walked into Zara's shop, wearing clean clothes Zara bought for her. Her hair was combed neatly. Her face looked rested. She held a wrapped package in her hand. "Zara," she said softly. Zara looked up with surprise. Amanda slowly unwrapped the package. It was the same brand of plate Zara had broken, the one that started everything. Amanda held it out with trembling hands. "Please, break this one," she whispered. Zara blinked. "What?" "Break it," Amanda repeated softly. "Break it and let the past die." Zara understood. Amanda was offering her the power she once abused. She was letting Zara reclaim her dignity. Zara took the plate slowly. The whole market seemed to pause. Then she dropped it gently on the floor. The plate shattered. Amanda closed her eyes and began to cry. "I'm sorry," she whispered, "for everything, for the stew, for the insults, for treating you like you were less. You were always more than me." Zara touched her shoulder gently. "I forgive you." Amanda froze, then broke into loud, shaking sobs. People passing stopped and stared. Some wiped tears, because forgiveness is louder than revenge. 3 months later, Zara's brand, Zara's touch, exploded across Lagos. Her bags were in malls, boutiques, and even being shipped to Abuja and Port Harcourt. Her shop expanded. She hired assistants. She rented a bigger space. Her life became everything she once prayed for. And Amanda? She worked quietly in Zara's shop as a sales assistant. Not because Zara wanted revenge, but because Amanda begged for a chance to rebuild her life. And Zara, being the woman of grace she had always been, gave her that chance. Every morning, customers walked in shocked to see the former billionaire greeting them politely. Some whispered, some laughed, some pitied her, but Amanda didn't care. She had found something she lost long ago: humility, peace, and a second chance. And Zara? She became a symbol of forgiveness across the whole market. Proof that the one you break today may rise higher tomorrow, and still lift you up with them. If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.